Bruno Fernandes is a Manchester United legend, and I'm going to tell you all about it based off of what we have and what we can present to you. Let's get right into it. So, there has been a whole lot that has been going on social media, with a lot of people, stating their opinions about Bruno Fernandes, and I particularly consume football content on a daily, right? But I watched this particular big YouTube channel, talk a lot about Bruno Fernandes and debunk this fact that Bruno Fernandes is a Man United legend or should be a Man United legend. And in truth, it's not something that I would like to get stuck in. So I allowed myself to brood over this for a couple of days to be able to come up with, you know, some of the arguments that we can have to genuinely say that Bruno Fernandes can be a Manchester United legend or can be called a Manchester United legend right now. So, first and foremost, he's a captain, our playmaker, our key chance creator, a leader. And he's also, a good guy who has always been as humble as he could to express his views on the criticism. He has been criticized, but he has basically carried this club. You know, some of the fans have been, debating and talking about it and, trying to kind of, stating their opinions and all of that. But I'm here to bring you some other facts, but I'm going to particularly bring you one tweet that I that was in response to one of the big YouTube channel about the whole Bruno Fernandes situation, and we are going to kind of um, analyze it basically, and then we can now ask some specific questions and build up from there, basically. So with this one, he says, and this is Pete's United point of view. I usually follow his comments and his content on X, and he says, "We consider Brian Robson as a club legend, and rightly so. He carried us as a captain during the lean years and kept us relevant. Bruno is doing the exact same thing. The only player who consistently performs to a world class level. He's captained us to our first two trophies in 6 years, back to back domestic cups. He's carrying us almost single handedly to the Europa League. His performances are the difference between relegation and safety this season. 30 goal involvement, obviously, but I think it's 31 goal involvement in our worst season because he's got 15 goals and 16 assists. In our worst season in years, he's definitely building a case to be called a legend for sure, right? So I don't want to read the remaining things, but basically, most fans, especially the big channels, don't want to acknowledge the fact that Bruno Fernandes is a captain. He's a captain and a legend for the club. Turning in, and if we're going to go by his stats for the last 10 years, he has shown that he is worthy of being captain and being a legend in this club, right? If we're going by stats, back to back seasons for the last probably 10 years, Bruno Fernandes has shown himself like to be worthy of being a legend for the club. So I'm just going to, you know, bring up his career over the last 10 years. And then we shall now see, especially based on rating, and this is from FOTMob, based on ratings for the last 10 years. So I'm just going to show you basically what is like for maybe the last couple of, you know, weeks. So in the last couple of weeks, the worst game he's had is the Real Sociedad first leg where we played 1-1. That's the worst game. Every other game is nothing less than 7.5 in ratings, right? This is the last game based on some FOTMob stats. The game he's had issues with is the 6.7 against Real Sociedad. The rest, nothing less than 7.5. Even the Crystal Palace where he we lost, he also had a good game, 7.5 or 7.4 as case may be. So if we're going to go by that, Bruno Fernandes has shown he is capable, right? Then if we are to go by like his stats based on like seasons. So in Manchester United, he's played 277 times and he has scored 95 goals. That is a absolutely good stat, right? If we're to go season by season, now let me show you something. So season by season, the worst season he's ever had is his days at Sampdoria. You can see it here. The worst season he's ever had is his days at Sampdoria. The rest, I mean, overall, this season alone, he's had an average rating of 7.8 with 44 appearances, 16 goals, 15 assists. Last season, 48 appearances, 15 goals, 13 assists. So he's about to even smash his last season's record. And then 2022-23 season, 59 appearances, 14 goals, 13 assists. And 21-20 season, 10 goals, 13 assists. 2020 to 21 season, he had 28 goals, 18 assists. And then in 2019-2020, he had 12 goals and 8 assists for Man United, 15 goals and 14 assists for Sporting. So if you add that 2019-2020 season together, you will have 27 goals and 22 assists, right? And then 18-19, he got 31 goals and 15 assists. And in 17-18, he got 16 goals and 14 assists over 56 games. And he has smashed that record in Man United, his first one, 16-14. He has smashed it already. He's at 16-15, right? So, and we still have 9 games to go in the Premier League and about a good number of games in the Europa League for him to even get to 20 goals and 20 assists if he wants. So, I mean, what more can he do? Season in, season out, he has not gotten less than 10 goals per season in the last, let me see, 6 seasons or 5.5 seasons since he joined Man United. He has never gotten anything less than 10 goals. And he's, for Man United, the so-called worst season is actually his January to May season where he got 8 assists. He has never gotten anything less than 13 assists per season. The highest in that time was 18 assists. And if you combine both his Sporting days and now, he still hasn't gotten anything less than 13 assists per season, right? And he played his best years for Man United. So what more can he do to prove? I know people talk about stats and stats being this, stats being that, and all of that, but what more can he do to prove that he is worthy of being a legend at the club for playing more than 5 years at this club? He 5 of his best years, right? His traits this season are basically overall touches, 98%. Overall chances created so far this season, 98%. Shots attempts, 84%. Aerial duels won, 65%. Goals, 88% of the goals, and 86% defensive actions. He started 28 games of the 28 matches in the Premier League, right? So what more? In the Premier League alone, he's got 8 goals, 9 assists. What more? He's played 238 minutes and 2,380 minutes, and overall rating is already 7.6. So what more can he do to prove that he's worthy to be in that category? There's so many other stats that he's broken, you know, so many other stats that he's broken that we're going to try to show. And one of the many is this one that we got from Sky Sports. And it's that he has the most Man United assists in Premier League history. He is number 6 behind Eric Cantona, behind the greats, Eric Cantona, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, and Ryan Giggs. And trust me, he's played less games, right? 50 goals plus assists. He's played less games if we're to do further research. 50 goals plus assists. What more? What more can he do? Right? He broke the record in the weekend when he did it for against Leicester City. 50 goals plus assists, right? The rest, when Rooney has 183 goals, 93 assists. Ryan Giggs has 109 goals, 162 assists. Paul Scholes, 107 goals, 55 assists. These are all Premier League, not overall. And then Eric Cantona, 64, 61, and 51. And then, David Beckham, 62, 80. And then Bruno Fernandes, 62, 50 in the Premier League alone. I mean, what more do you want for him to prove? I mean, in this list, there are some big names there, and he's number 6 of those big names. Come on. So, yeah, there you have it. There's so many points that we could bring forth to prove to you that Bruno has, deserved to be called, at least in the time being, a legend of the club, especially in this quote unquote banter era, right? But I have a question. What makes a player a legend of the club? Is it longevity? Is it trophies? Is it influence? Is it performance? What makes a player legend at Manchester United by Man United standards? Because in some people's books, it is quite understandable that Bruno Fernandes will not be a legend in their books. It's quite understandable, right? Now, as I've listed, there are some established legends like Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Eric Cantona, Wayne Rooney, David Beckham. The list goes on and on. You know, um, Nemanja Vidic, you know, we have also Rio Ferdinand. There's so many. The list goes on and on. Brian Robson, Bobby Charlton, you know, right? George Best. These are all legends that have done great things for this club. Are you saying Bruno hasn't done great things for this club? What about trophies? Yeah, longevity. He's played over 5 years. He's worthy. And the truth is, he can go 5 more. He's just 30, right? And he's always been available. He's been more available than Luke Shaw, who has been here 9 years at the club, 9 to 10 years, right? More available, playing every position except goalkeeping, right? So, what about trophies? He's won 2 trophies in our banter area, 2 trophies in 5 years. I mean, in our banter, with so many changes in managers, he came during Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? And then he played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, played under Ralf Ragnick, played under Michael Carrick, and played with so many players like Paul Pogba, Juan Mata, and all of that. He arrived. So in all of these questions, where does Bruno fit in? Right? Where does he fit in? Like in the last 5-10 years, we haven't really done so well, but he's always shown up. He played in that. He played in a couple of finals also where we lost and all of that, and a couple of semi-finals and stuff under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all of that. Even in those ones, he also converted his penalties, so it's not like he lost any one. It's just he's trying to do everything for the team according to what Ruben Amorim has said, right? And he also gets frustrated. But people always focus on the flailing arms and the whatever, gestures that he makes, right? Ever since he arrived in January 2020, he has transformed the team instantly. I remember his first goal. You can find it online. I think that's against Everton, I believe. That goal that he shot from outside the box, you know. And then we've talked about the goals and assists. I mean, key passes and overall contributions obviously are there for all to see, right? And then he was given the captaincy by Eric Ten Hag, right? And the other one was taken away from Harry Maguire. But he's proven he's led from the front, led on all fronts, and all of that. Vocal presence, performance in big games is there for all to see. He's had also some memorable moments which will show you towards the end of the game, towards the end of I think one of the memorable moments was in the FA Cup a few games ago, right? Apart from the ones that we can all see he has played in the Europa League, right? Now, I have said or I've given you some arguments to say why Bruno should be termed as a legend of the club. But there's also some counter arguments. First and foremost, even though most fans, our opposing fans, will not acknowledge this, but he's won major trophies, right? Two major trophies for Man United in this our so-called banter era, right? But some people have said compared to other United legends, he has not won trophies. Fine, given. But the other now to counter this counter argument, the other legends played in teams that had so many good players at once, right? Then he struggles in big matches. That is what people have said, but he hasn't actually struggled in big matches. You can go and ask Arsenal for reference this season. At least Arsenal are the second best team in the league, as we can see. Liverpool first, Arsenal second, right? He's shown up and he scored against Arsenal. And I think he scored 3 goals against Arsenal this season alone, right? Okay. Even against Man City as well this season. Who else? Liverpool. I mean, he's done it in the past against Liverpool this season or in the seasons past. So what are we talking about? You've forgotten the chip from the middle of the field when Ezri Konsa missed that ball and then he chipped it and it just went over the keeper. I mean, come on. Oh no, no. He has performed in big games. Now, we can attribute the counter argument to the current state of Manchester United squad, and that the question will now be that does he define an era or just a great player in a struggling team? You remember the times of Paul Pogba when everybody was saying, "Oh, Pogba needs great players around him," and all of that. Bruno was that great player that came to play for United with Pogba, but Pogba was most of the times injured, right? Now, if we compare him to previous United captains like Roy Keane, like Nemanja Vidic, like Rio Ferdinand, like Wayne Rooney, David Beckham, and all of that, even Paul Scholes at some point, we will say yes, he's not up to their level at the time. But what is the level now? Is he world class or not in this era? Think about it. So now we've delved into statistical analysis, and I don't want to create some kind of comparison between him and any Man United legend at all whatsoever. I don't want to do that because that is not a good way to compare because they played at different times. But I'm going to show you a stat from Skoka where we're talking about ball recoveries based on Bruno's performance, right? So for ball recoveries, only Ryan Christie and Moises Caicedo have done better in ball recoveries than Bruno Fernandes this season. Bruno Fernandes number 3. Ryan Christie is 172 ball recoveries. Moises Caicedo 170 for the season in the Premier League. Not a lot. Let's not talk about like all competitions. But for the season in the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes is 167. And look down the list to number 8, 150. Most abused and insulted right back in Manchester United, Diogo Dalot, and he's 149. So what more do we need to clarify the status of Bruno? I'm not saying that, yeah, the fact that Ryan Christie or probably Moises Caicedo have not really won any trophy means that, and being above Bruno means that they are more world class players than Bruno. Nah. Bruno gets in those teams and still performs. Like if Bruno finds himself in other teams, he would step right in straight. But check out all the combined 11s, right? So there are so many factors, so many things we can bring together to say, oh, this is the reason why Bruno should be. Now, I'm gonna play you an interview after this is an interview post Leicester, where he talked about basically just in response to Roy Keane's comments and all of that, criticisms and everything of his play. And we're going to play that video and we're going to basically just express to you why we think Bruno should be. You know, part of the things that captains possess is humility. In times when things are getting hard and tough, stand up for your players and all of that. And Bruno is one who does that
Obviously,
for
I know you talk.
every time he gets the opportunity to do so. He does it for his players. He backs even the coach, the manager. You can see him on the field every time trying to communicate what Ruben Amorim has said to the team. Right now, this is this is the interview post match. Then you hear for yourself what he had to say.
About Roy Keane. As I said it before, obviously I know you're talking about Roy Keane. As I said it before, I have a huge respect for Roy Keane. I think he was one of the best captains the club had, an amazing player for the club, won basically everything for this club. So is the way he thinks, is the idea he has about me as
Definitely. So he states that he respects Roy Keane. Roy Keane has won everything for the club. He's one of the best captains the club has ever had. No doubt. No doubt whatsoever. No doubt whatsoever. And he respects it, and he says, "Oh, I respect Roy Keane. I respect everything he has done for the club and all of that." That is a humble person. He's not trying to shut the critics up and all of that. He's not trying to shut the critics up. He's saying, you know what, whatever you say, I respect your opinion, but I'm going to keep doing what I have to do. And I'm going to keep working hard to achieve what we need to achieve as regards to the goals of the club. Let's keep going.
player, as a captain, and I have to respect that. Obviously, I do the things in my own way to try to be the best, not captain, but person and teammate as I can.
Keyword best captain, no, but best person and teammate as much as he can. Doing his best, working on the ground day in, day out. You can see that he's a person that gets it. He is a player in Manchester United that gets it.
I do it every day. I try to be an example everything I do.
Yep. Tries to be an example in everything that he does. Lead from the front. And the manager acknowledged it that he wished we had more Brunos. This is someone who has received so much insult and slag and all of that from the fans and legends alike.
Training sessions on the pitch, in everything I do. But obviously, like not everyone will not everyone will think in the same
Exactly.
way. And I respect every opinion of everyone. And as I
Yep.
said, I have huge respect for Roy Keane, and obviously I accept that there's a lot of margin for improvement in my game, in my leadership, in everything I do, in even in my own life.
Exactly. So it is what it is. I mean, what more can he say to prove himself other than he has to keep working hard? Even at 30, he's still running his socks off, running past players, running past people, and all of that. I'm also going to play you another video of Bruno Fernandes in the against Leicester City in the FA Cup. You see that he's a chance creator, one who always makes things happen for his team. So I like to play that video for you to see the technique with which he hits the ball and all of that. Just on for a side note, but to still hold on to that argument that Bruno is worthy of being a United legend or is worthy to be called a United legend at this point. So I'm gonna play you that video, and then you can see what I mean when I say he is worthy being a United legend at this point. Okay, so this is the Leicester City game, the last minute, albeit an offside goal that Bruno crossed. I just needed to focus on the technique with which he hit that ball and the passion with which he showed the celebration for the goal. Look at that. So the passion, that's someone who gets it, someone who wants to be in this club, who loves this club. And he said it at the end of last season when he said, "Oh, if they want me, I'm gonna stay. I want to win things with the club." I mean, he spent his best peak years, basically his peak years, from when he was 25 to now. He's 30 already. When he should be winning things and winning other trophies like big trophies at other clubs, he spent it here, at Man United, doing his best to deliver at Man United. What more do you want from him? What more? So that's pretty much what it is. That's my thoughts on all of this. Bruno Fernandes should be a captain. I mean, should be a legend at the club. For those who are clamoring for the captain armband to be taken from him, I don't believe that the captain's armband should be taken away from him. Who else is worthy of being a United captain? Oh, Harry Maguire, hardly available, is it? Right? It's always available. Bruno, always available. Who else should be given the captain's armband? Matthias de Ligt just came this season. Who else again? Who is the most senior player in the squad? Casemiro, basically, he barely has minutes. Doesn't have the amount of minutes that Bruno has, and you can see the influence that Bruno has on the team, right? Sometimes he slags himself instead of slagging the other players when he doesn't do something right. Especially, I've seen that in games. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about this, and we can discuss further in the comment section. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Take care, goodbye, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless.